Hello again. Enjoying the nice, warm, cozy fire that's always on, regardless of who's actually in the room. Last time, we completed the arduous task of going to the area with the BTs and delivering some stuff to the Evo Devo biologist. And we finally made our way back here, where Hartman informed us about some subterfuge that's going on where him and Deadman are trying to keep some information, trying to keep some things out of Die Hardman's purview. They don't trust him. I have to be honest that I didn't quite follow it. What exactly they're trying to do, but we're just the porter. We don't need to know what we're doing, we just need to do it. But before we start doing it with Sam, we'll catch up on some of these data logs. Hartman's theory of evolution. The evolution of life on Earth could be described as the evolution of consciousness. When the first vertebrates clambered out of the oceans and onto the land, their consciousness expanded to process the new realm that lay before them. But their development did not end there. Their eyes moved from their flanks to their fronts, that they might comprehend the depth of the world. Mammals formed groups, increasing their chances of survival. Eventually, they came together in communities, and then larger societies. In order to preserve and maintain these structures, humans developed a perception of time. And in order for societies to outlast the lifespan of the individual, we conceived of an afterlife and a future beyond ourselves. Alas, the Death Stranding threatens to undo all our progress. Consider the chiral network, which incorporates the beach where time does not exist, or consider timefall, which rapidly accelerates the degradation of that which it comes into contact with. How can our sense of time, honed over millions of years, remain intact when we must cope with such irrational phenomena? Yet that is but the tip of the proverbial iceberg. We are growing apart, retreating into isolation, gradually losing our place within society. I would even go so far as to say our conceptions of reality are under threat. How could they not be, when our very eyes deny the invisible BT that stands before us? The Stranding has warped our consciousness in every sense. If the evolution of life on Earth is indeed akin to the evolution of consciousness, then what is happening now is undeniably a regression, is it not? There is one caveat, of course. Some of us are now far more aware of death than we ever were. That is what Dooms has given us. For me, therefore, Dooms is not merely a biological change. I prefer to think of it as the means by which I have achieved a new form of consciousness. Furthermore, I hope and believe that this new awareness of the other side is humanity's trump card as we seek to defeat the Death Stranding. Umbilical cords in Devonian-era fossils. An article from an old scientific journal was recently brought to my attention. It predates the Death Stranding and concerns the discovery of a 380-million-year-old fossil, one from the Devonian era, to give the period its proper name. It was a fossil of a fish, and in its womb was a child connected to its mother by an umbilical cord no less. The species? Masterpiesis attenboroughi. It's a placoderm, an extinct class of armored marine creatures that used to live in seas the world over. Unfortunately, most were wiped out during the Devonian era, right around the time of the second of the Big Five, in fact. As you may be aware, one of the key foci of my research is the link between creatures with umbilical cords and mass extinctions. Once this area is connected to the chiral network, It is my hope that we will be able to piece together more data that will help us learn more about the link between umbilical cords and the Death Stranding. Kind of a little bit pointless because we went over that already in a cutscene. Interview with the Evo Devil biologist. I was born after the Death Stranding, so my conception of what the world once was is derived entirely from documents, photographs, and video. We didn't used to have timefall for one, just regular rain. No chiral clouds, only the traditional masses of suspended moisture, and one certainly didn't have to worry about tar bubbling up from underground, in most locales. Humans could travel anywhere, even into space, and we were blissfully unaware of the beach's existence. Suffice it to say, there is no doubt that this is a period of sweeping change that will have lasting repercussions for all life on Earth. Given that, dooms may simply be humanity's way of trying to adapt and survive. A beach exists within the consciousness of every individual, but these environmental changes, they affect all life on a genetic level, do they not? That is why I thought to investigate them, and the medium through which I chose to do so is the tar which has become so ubiquitous. But you're not interested in that, I am sure. So you know there is a very real possibility that we have already failed to adapt to the sixth extinction. That we are but another evolutionary dead end soon to be left behind. If that is the case, then it could be reasoned that the ones afflicted with dooms, and therefore blessed with an enhanced perception of the beach, are our successors who will survive and supplant us. I suppose that would be a shame, but it doesn't trouble me all that much. My research will survive me as well, and the dooms sufferers can pick up from where I left off. They will carry on my genetic lineage too, for that matter. No, what worries me is that not even dooms will prove sufficient to endure this extinction. If that is the case, then humanity is doomed. It's certainly a possibility we have to acknowledge. But more than that, one question looms above all. Why? Why now? Why like this? That's what I want to know more than anything. Somehow I doubt the dinosaurs and all the other species that came and went ever considered that question. Worrying over the reason for this and that is a uniquely human condition, I suppose. Yet this idle curiosity may be the key to understanding and overcoming the stranding. And tar bubbles up from the beach. By Aaron Hill of Mountain Knot City. I'd heard this area was pretty inhospitable before I got here. Got your fair share of mountains, obviously, and on top of that were all these rumors about a secret terrorist base or something, so I figured I was in for a bad time. But when me and the team got here, yeah, it was way worse than what we thought. Felt like we could get jumped any second, you know? I tell you what, though, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw all the tar out west. Wondered how the hell Amelie and her team made it through, but someone said it wasn't nearly as bad when they made the trip. I was sent out to take a closer look, and man, it was something else. And it hadn't been that long either. Hard to imagine all that bubbled up damn near overnight. Honestly, I felt like I was standing at the edge of the world. We don't know much about the tar, except that it wasn't around before the stranding, same as timefall and chiralium. There's some speculation that it might be some byproduct of the beach, and that if you could somehow retrace the flow, you'd end up there. But that's all theoretical stuff. Right now we've got a practical problem to deal with. One of the chiral relays we built is at risk of going under any moment. We don't have the manpower to relocate it yet, but we should once that second expedition shows up. Whether we can wait that long is another question, though. Maybe you could tell them to get their asses in gear if you get the chance. And that's it for interviews. No mail. We have to stop putting off this next mission, which we were warned is going to be our most challenging mission yet.
Remember, Sam, your objective is to bring a new chiral relay online by the tar belt. And to do that, you'll need to collect the necessary materials at Hartman's lab. And once the relay's up and running, you'll be able to proceed to Edge Knot City. Good luck.
5 containers. That's quite a lot. I don't think we're going to do that in one trip.
Order assigned.
So let's see where we have to go first. So from Hartman's lab, we have to go basically down the river. Oh, the river ends rather abruptly. Anyway, we have to go all the way down here. Wow. From the looks of things, the immediate vicinity is flat enough. But how do we get there? We've already found a path. We've already found a path to through here, so we can probably find a new way to link up with that path. Now my question is, well, not so much a question. Let's see how heavy things are if we try to offload it on the trike. These are all large, so we can only put 2 of them, I think. Yeah. We can only put 2 of them on the trike. As long as we're driving, that takes some of the burden away from us. The problem's going to be if this is too much of a load to take in one trip, what are we going to do? I guess we can try to navigate to a safe house or a post box. Drop some... I actually don't know if post boxes have private stashes, so it would only be a safe house or a station. Drop some stuff off and continue from there. So let's start planning a tentative route. Of course, we follow the pre-existing route here, and now we diverge. We want to get over to this flat area. Ideally, yes, ideally we would get here. Well, not ideally because that's where the BTs are, but we can skirt that area if we want to. The only way that we can get there that bypasses this mountain range is basically through here. So we can assume we're going to have to go through this shallow area unless we want to try going through this very rocky looking situation down to the edge of the tar. We haven't been that way, so it's a bit more risky than the way that we already know works. Could be easier. So let's see how we can get down there. From here, can we enter into this valley? Possibly. Possibly. That would be a more direct route if we go here. And then find our way down. Maybe this way. I think it only needs to be a one-way trip. Then we follow the existing path. Can I clear an individual marker? Yes. Excellent. I have actually never done that. We go here to avoid this steep part. Oh. Yeah, that's really tall. So we do need to go through here. And not until we get to this nice flat section do we start turning. Oh, from here, I will try to skirt this side so we can avoid that crossing. And there we have it. Plenty of saving will be going on. We should also... I forgot. No, let's not. We're quite loaded with weapons. So I'm not sure I want to keep all that. You know, if we encounter BTs, I don't want to fight them, and so far it still works that we are able to do that. We're able to just not fight them. So we'll take a full pack of grenades, an assault rifle, and we'll just store everything else. Is that... we can't, nothing to organize. Okay, nothing to optimize. Well, I'll make another save. I know, I'm very...
Keep on keeping on.
I'm very insistent on my saves. Look at that. Nice little road. Looks like we could fit something on the trike. Something 2 smalls or 1 medium. Not sure. Or no, that is all. That we can't cram another one of these repair units. Not really sure there's anything I want to put there. If I put the rifle or the grenade, then we won't have it on hand. I'll put the rifle. Keep on keeping on.
Right on.
I may not be keeping on correct direction. No, more or less, this is where we want to go. There's A3. Saving our boost for when we really, really need it. And it would be beneficial to hit a generator at some point. Maybe we will do that when we get to the paleontologist. See, this is a case where I probably should have taken a PCC. It's a little late now, though. I think we'll make it to the paleontologist. Anytime I see those, I drive over them. What can I say? Remember delivery robots? That was a thing they introduced earlier in this game. We haven't spent any time on that. Micromanaging deliveries. Delivery drones, I think they were called.
What can't you do?
I see that as being a time sink. Something maybe we would engage with if we were post-game, or if we hit some really difficult spot in the late game. I don't know. I just don't see it worth fiddling with that. We saw what there was to it. It wasn't much to it. I've played many games with that sort of asynchronous management sim micro mini game, and I have not seen it done in a way that's actually fun, and or in a way that is worth the time you put into it. So I'm generally just skeptical of spending time, especially in this game. We've gotten, I don't know, some minor upgrades to items, some side grades. Sure, maybe there's some god tier items in this game that we just haven't seen yet. But we're doing just fine. Need to make sure. So here's where we will take a detour to the paleontologist. Does it not show battery on this screen? I guess we would have to go to the cargo. So we're gonna detour over to that generator. Yeah. So if we were going to do that, if we knew we were going to do that, I suppose we could have teleported there. There's already a player house. We could print a trike. We could have avoided driving there. At least we saved some materials. Well, now I want to... How soon are we going to get out of signal? Yeah, pretty soon. Maybe we will put a generator down right there. So I will take a PCC. Thank you very much. Oh good, we do have some more firing range exercises. Next time we have a natural stopping point, we'll go ahead and check those out. Nope, not cargo menu. Oh, better save first. Now we get back on to the path. If those jumps actually accelerated you or sent you higher, which maybe they do a little bit, but I remember trying to use one and it sent us straight into the middle of water and we lost a trike. That has to have been just a troll, though. Oh, because we didn't get close enough to the points. Now we get guidance. Have to remember, I plan to put down a generator right before we leave the signal area.
What can't you do?
Meaning right here. Oh, you have to get off. Does it charge us as well? Or is it a shared battery? Anyway, onward. Oh. Well. What have we here? It's dense with mules if we go straight ahead, if we continue. But what if we go up and over, like so? Personally, I'd rather not deal with mules if I don't have to. I don't enjoy doing that, and we also don't have the gear for it. There's the path. Oh. Well, we better keep a move on. At least we haven't encountered any timefall yet. Good.
Still got it.
I like my saves. Oh, that's a guy. But he's on foot. The hardest journey we've ever had.
Sam, you should be nearing the old building site. Look for the terminal and submit your materials for processing.
Next level trust issue.
Sam, you need to get those materials processed in order to finish the Chiral relay.
Did the song lyric just say next level trust issues? Well, I suppose that's fitting for Sam. Got it in one.
Good job, Sam. Now access the terminal and bring the relay online. And with that, we're all linked up. Once you cross the tar belt, the end will be in sight. We're this close to Emily, to America's second chance. Edgenut City awaits. The staff we're sending will start by building a safe house. Over time, they'll expand their operations and establish a new facility. In doing so, they'll carry on the legacy of the brave souls lost to the tar. All thanks to you, Sam. Now, let's figure out how to get you across this tar belt.
I was hoping to see an animation where the whole thing just gets built. I think that would be very cool. I just randomly remembered there was this game is reminding me, well, Sam specifically, is reminding me of this old DS game. I suppose it's been released on other platforms by now. Called The World Ends With You. And the main character, Neku, has a lot of similarities with Sam in terms of not wanting to relate to, associate with anyone, and just be a lone wolf. And having to learn to overcome that. Anyway. That was a pretty good game. It had a dual screen combat system. So you were doing combat on both of the screens simultaneously. Okay, cross the tar belt. Can we do that on our vehicle? I may have been thinking about a locked. Why is that?
The only way west is through that. To make matters worse, I don't believe your PCC is capable of building anything that will get you across. There must be a way. We can't give up, not with what's at stake. We'll see if we can't think of something here. But considering everything you've been through, I wouldn't be surprised if you've already got a few ideas of your own.
I thought that we were delivering materials here so that we didn't have to come up with a few ideas of our own. There's a chiral bridge. A cargo catapult. Go up. I suppose we'll take a look around. Conveniently, there's a safe house here. Whoops. Wow. We're carrying almost nothing now. Those building materials were heavy. I am really confused. I thought we would bring these materials and well, let's go to our room for once. It's been a while.
Your work is greatly appreciated.
Sam, the film director's asked for you by name. Needs a package picked up from the distro center south of Lake Knot City. He's got a special reward set aside for you. Or so I hear.
Before we end for the day. We'll catch up on some of the mail. Aaron Hill. Oh, it looks like there's an order to these, so we'll start with the bottom. Aaron Hill, The Chronicles of Aaron, Chapter 1, The Great Embarkation. Hey Sam, you're headed for the Tar Belt, right? Once you're past that, you'll be in Edgenot City at last, but only Amelie and the Vanguard ever made it that far. And from what we've been hearing, everything west of the Tar is pretty messed up. Lucky for you, we're going to construct a backup safe house once you get the chiral network hooked up over yonder. Director's orders. Got a heart of gold, doesn't he? Of course, the question was, who was going to get that sweet, sweet job of trekking all the way out there to build it? You guessed it. Yours truly. Guess that golden heart of his doesn't bleed for me. Still, it's for the good of America, right? Everybody's got to do their bit for the great rebuilding, I guess. Anyway, it looks like I'll be throwing on a pack and venturing out into the wilderness like my old friend Mr. Bridges. Wish me luck out there. Aaron Hill, pioneer and adventurer, signing off. The Ammonite with the Umbilical Cord and Mass Extinctions from the Paleontologist. Sam, the Ammonite with the umbilical cord you brought me has undeniably brought us closer to solving the riddle that is the Death Stranding. I really cannot thank you enough, and thanks to that antimatter bomb you provided, I have finally been able to resume excavations. I remained confident that by continuing to research the fossils contained in the deeper strata, we will gain a greater understanding of how this particular ammonite is linked to the Stranding itself. Umbilical cords are not necessarily the product of evolution, but possibly the result of a genetic factor that hastens extinction itself. A mere theory, which if true would invite the question, what of our own umbilical cords? Are they indicative of a predisposition towards self-destruction, and if so, is there anything we can do to change our course? A troubling possibility to consider, and one for which I have no response. Given this theory, one might consider the umbilical cord to be representative of a connection between life and death, a dangerous, possibly fatal relationship. But like the many connections you yourself have forged, a potential force for good, for so many of our accomplishments are the product of our collective action, a fundamentalist truth that would have remained forgotten by many had you not brought us together. Stay the course, Sam. Chronicles of Aaron, Chapter 2, The Lonely Road. Where you at right now, Sam? I just left Mountain Knot City behind. Don't worry, I'm not getting in touch to gripe about how hard this is or anything. I'm fine, honestly. Nah, seriously. I'm a veteran of the first expedition. How else do you think I made it this far west on my own? I can look after myself, especially with the forecast data available on the chiral network these days. Always know when timefall's on the way. Compared to last time, it's a breeze. Walking these mountains on your own, though, it wears on you, it really does. Can't believe you've traveled so far without a soul for company. You're another breed, seriously. Hey, anyway, I passed this beautiful heart-shaped lake a little ways back. I'd heard of it, of course, first time I ever saw it with my own two eyes, though. The one by Hartman's place. Someone told me that there used to be a city where that lake is, which reminded me of a story I'd heard about this porter who got snagged by a BT. All this tar started bubbling up from the ground along with rocks and buildings and all sorts of debris, stuff from the past, people said, and the porter used it to escape the tar and give the BT the slip. What do you reckon, Sam? Sounds a bit crazy when I think about it. Anyway, I swung by Hartman's place to say hi, but nobody answered when I came knocking. Maybe he ain't as friendly as he makes out. Seems my journey through these mountains is going to be even lonelier than I thought. Can't give up now, though. Let's both of us keep on trucking. Catch you later. They're really telling us this hint this late in the game. We would have already seen that bubbling pit and figured out how to escape by now, I think. Sam, I've been analyzing the tar samples you collected for me. Oh, this is the Evo Devo biologist. Summoning objects from the other side through the tar. Sam, I've been analyzing the tar samples you collected for me, and I've got to say, its properties are wholly unlike those of the more common tar we have observed on this planet in the past. The same can be said for the tar taken from the strata in which that ammonite with the umbilical cord was found. No deposits have been discovered, save for those accompanying massive fossil beaches. It's as if it's the literal stuff of extinctions. Even more strangely, it seems that objects submerged in concentration of this tar are partially, if not entirely, transported elsewhere, most likely to the beach, I suspect. Therefore, by chucking that nuke into the crater lake, you may have sent it to the other side itself. Assuming it's a two-way street, that also means that matter sent to that world could theoretically return through the tar once more. This would explain some of the more fantastic stories I've heard of buildings swallowed whole by tar, only to miraculously rise from its depths at a later date, looking exactly as they did when they were lost. Which has intriguing implications, don't you think? If the tar is a gateway to the past it has consumed, then maybe it could be manipulated into regurgitating its old meals. And finally, The Chronicles of Aaron, Chapter 3, A Fellow Traveler. Guess what, Sam? I'm halfway there, can you believe it? To tell you the truth, I'm struggling to believe it myself. Not so long ago, I was all but broken, mind and body both. My feet were nothing but blisters and chilblains, and the going was so steep, I nearly slipped and fell more times than I can count. But just as I was ready to curl up and to die, you know what I came across? A hot spring. Damn thing saved my life. And it wasn't no ordinary hot spring neither. The recharging springs, you heard of 'em? The water there heals wounds, cures fatigue. Hell, it even recharges batteries. It's nothing short of miraculous. Okay, so maybe I didn't just happen across the place. A porter told me about it. Thanks, porter. See, I wasn't doing my best to steer clear of BT territory, but my best wasn't quite good enough. So when I was about to walk into a heap of trouble, this guy showed up, told me I was headed for danger, and took me to the springs instead. He even helped me carry my load. Can't tell you how good it was to meet another traveler on the road, especially a friendly one. So yeah, we had a soak together, shot the shit, it was nice. Seems he'd mislaid some cargo meant for a bridges scientist, said helping me out was his way of atoning for his sins. Now that I think of it, that whole part was pretty strange. He said the cargo contained an ammonite with an umbilical cord. Ain't no such thing, right? Right? But yeah, can't speak ill of the guy. I wouldn't be here writing to you if it wasn't for him. Be safe out there. Till next time. Till next time for us as well. See you in the next episode of Death Stranding.